How's it going, everybody? Mr. Poestyle finally back. I know it's been about 3 weeks or so since my last video. I've been busy with work, doing yard work and stuff. Actually, you can see I'm in my wonderful garage again. I was out doing yard work today on my only day off and decided to pause for a moment because I finally got something in the mail that I've been waiting on. April 12th, mid-April, some point. I got a little game off of eBay, and I wanted to get something maybe a lot of people haven't played before. You might have on emulator. Maybe you bought a copy of it from Japan or something. But I ordered a game called Devil World for the Famicom. And Devil World is a maze game. It's kind of like a Pac-Man type game where you eat the dots, but there's different rules involved here. And it only came out in Japan for the Famicom. And a little deeper digging finds there was a European version for the NES there, but for Scandinavia of all places. So it's a rarer game. It was a black box game over there. But it sounds like Scandinavia and Japan were the only ones that ever got this. Now, it was re-released around 2008 on the Wii Virtual Console, but only, again, in Japan and Europe. So it never made its way to North America. And the reason being is because it has religious artifacts in it. There's Bibles, there's crosses, there's the devil. I don't know if the devil really matters. I think we've seen him in other US release games, but and Nintendo of America, that was a big no-no. They didn't want anything like religious symbols in games over here. So it never made its way over here. This game was made by the one and only Shigeru Miyamoto. This was his first ever console-only game. His other games had come out for arcade and console up to that point. And it's his first game that was never released in North America. And actually, from what I've read, Shigeru Miyamoto actually, after coming up with the idea for this game, came over to Nintendo of America to try to get them to release it here, but no, they weren't having any of it in the 80s. No, they wouldn't allow you to bring it over here because there were crosses, there were Bibles in the game. It is a lot of fun. I guess you would call it a Pac-Man clone, but there's a few more things going for it than that. They threw in a little extras. Now, to me, the Maze Craze games at the time, when Pac-Man first came out, yeah, everybody was into it. Actually, my first experience with any of that was Pac-Man on the 2600. So I love that version. I had seen the other versions at arcades and stuff, but the home version is what I had. So I played the hell out of that. And then, eventually being a collector, you end up with about 5,000 copies of Pac-Man for 2,600 when you buy lots. I also have a bunch of them because it was a pack-in game originally with the 5,200. So collecting for it over the last few years, I got a bunch of Pac-Man for it. I got Pac-Man for the 8-bit computer, a few of those, and I don't even have an 8-bit yet. One day I will. I would like to have the XEGS. Or the ZEGs, or whatever you call it. I don't have that right now. But there were also other games coming out that were trying to jump on the Pac-Man fame. You had your Casey Munchkin for the Odyssey 2, which is a great game. I do love that game. Actually, I could probably play that more than I can Pac-Man. I have a lot of fun with that game. Mousetrap is another really fun game. Get the bone, turn into a dog, eat the cats, blah, 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 wait for the doors to open. Lots of different maze games out there. Ladybug, really fun game too. And back then, I guess, that would be what you couldn't wait to play. For me, and Miss Pac-Man later, everybody loved Miss Pac-Man, Junior Pac-Man. For me, that genre of games is just a pick up and play, especially in these days. Even when the NES came out, we were used to a lot deeper games after the Black Box series, after third-party developers got into it. Actually, Nintendo itself with Zelda. Once you had password systems and battery backups to games, there was a lot more detail, a lot more to games you could do. The Famicom disk system, could add more levels to a game. So for me, the arcade shooters and stuff, the maze games that I loved on the 2600, the 5200, those systems before, they became pick up and play games. You're bored, you throw it in, you play it for a few minutes, boom, you're done. Nintendo at that point had just a bunch of games that you could play forever, for hours on end, really get into the adventures or whatever you were doing in those games. But I want to talk about Devil World. I want to play it a little bit for you here. Like I said, I ordered it April 12th. It just came to me yesterday, which was May the 3rd, 2021. So it got here actually a little quicker than I thought because I ordered it from Japan itself. I couldn't find a good enough deal from an American seller, so order it from the source, straight from Japan. I got here. It's in great shape. This only cost me $6 US, but shipping was 14 something US, so paid a little over $20 for it. Now on price charting, I think they're saying the average loose copy of this is going for about $12 if you follow price charting, if you care what they say. I think a box copy might be 20 some dollars for it is what they're saying. I didn't find that. Like I said, $6 for the game, 14 shipping. I paid over 20 for it loose. I don't care. I like it. The version that came out for the NES in Scandinavia is going, of course, for a lot more money right now. I think complete was well over $600 for it complete in box. Loose, I don't remember the exact price. It's way up there. Okay, loose copy of it was pretty high too. So check for yourself if you're interested. I'm okay with this. Actually, probably the best way for you to play it is to emulate it. I have also downloaded the ROM after I bought this and put it on my soft modded Wii to play. I put it on my Nintendo Mini, my classic mini console as well. But I have the cart here. I like to play on actual hardware, meaning my NES that I got in 1986. Still works great. The only modification I have done to the thing is I put a blinking light wind kit in it. And I only did that for the hell of it. To bypass the lockout chip, whatever. You don't have to push down anymore. My original pin set for it works fine. I have it still. I kept it in case anything happens with the blinking light wind. I don't have a Famicom. I don't have a Famicom disk system, but I'm okay with that. At some point, maybe I'll get it. I was interested for a while, bid a few times, and usually at the last second I was sniped. I never went for the buy it now on it. And I really don't have that much room. I have consoles everywhere, games everywhere right now. But one day, maybe I'll get a Famicom. Right now, I just use an adapter. There are several adapters out there. The old, what was it, Honeybee, or I think that's what it was called. You could get for the US NES. You just put the games in it, and it had like a strap on it to be able to pull it out. I actually got a few years ago, I got the My Arcade adapter for Famicom games. You just slide them on there, and it looks like an NES game. And with the blinking light wind, you just slide it in. There's no pushing down. You're done with the game, you pull it out. It's just like a regular NES game. Sorry, I am sweating like a mother. I was out here working on the pond today. Then it started raining on me. Then it got bright and sunny. Then it started raining again. Blah, blah, blah. That's why I'm in the garage. That's why you see wood. Wood. But yeah, I have several other games. Not several other games. I have a handful of games that are Famicom games. Not necessarily exclusive like Devil World is. But, I have Goonies. Goonies 2. Popeye, because I collect Popeye for every system. I just love that game. So, I do have it for my NES, but I wanted to buy the Famicom version, so I have Popeye. And Muscle, which everybody knows is a terrible game, but I wanted it. I have the US version that I got around the same time as I got this one a couple years ago. I loved collecting the little pink men. Never had or played the game as a kid, but I just decided to get it for my collection. So that's what I have. And My Arcade is the most recent one that I know that makes adapters to put your Famicom games in. And that's all it is. You have your pin set for the Famicom. You slide this in. And there's your NES, US NES, you know, European, I'm a poopin', adapter. It's a little tight fitting, it's snug, but it does the job. If you want to collect these games and you're not ready to buy Famicom, or you have one but you don't want to use it, you don't want to mess it up, you want to display it, buy one of these adapters. Like I said, this is the most recent one that I know of that's out. It's not very expensive. Slide the game right on there. Boom, you got an NES game from a Famicom game. And again, there are other adapters out there that were made originally that are still inside Nintendo cartridges. Maybe Gyromite was one of them. I can't remember exactly which ones. But there is an adapter in there because the actual board inside that game is a Famicom game. They have a pin connector to make it in the US, and that's what they did. It's built inside of the cartridge itself. So some people rip apart old games like that to find the little adapter. But this is just a lot easier. You're not going to destroy old games. You're not ripping them apart. You're going to buy this thing from My Arcade, probably on Amazon. Put your game in and play. So I think that's about it that I wanted to say about it. Again, a Shigeru Miyamoto original game. You know, he's known for all the greats, Super Mario Brothers, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to give it a try. And I don't have all the details. I don't have an instruction manual from what I gathered on this, or read about this. You know, you had your bad guys, Eggman, I think they called him, maybe Fried Eggman. But in this game, your power-ups originally are the crosses instead of power pellets. You can't gobble other dots unless you have that cross. So the crosses are around, you get them. And you can also use it to stun or turn your opponents into eggs. So when you have that cross, you can gobble the dots, you can shoot the bad guy and stun him. And at the same time, the devil is at the top of the screen. And this is the twist on the game, I guess. He's directing his minions, pointing in which direction, for them to move a box around the gameplay area. While they're doing this, you can get squished in between a wall of the maze and that barrier that's coming up. So you need to pay attention to which way he's having these minions in the bottom turn the rope or pull the rope or turn the gears. Because you'll end up getting squished in between a wall and that barrier if you're not paying attention or if you're not quick enough getting around there. It's a really cool idea. It's a nice little twist on the Pac-Man or the maze game genre. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to tell you before we get into the gameplay. That's about it. At that first screen, you are collecting the crosses. You're eating the dots. Shoot the bad guys. They turn into a fried egg or whatever, and you eat them. Second phase of the game is you need to collect 4 Bibles. And you need to kind of lock them into place. There's a center area you'll see with little notches, 4 of them. It's square. You got to push those Bibles into each side of it. And then you move on to the next level. And then there's another little character called the Co-Devil that comes out eventually, and he's chasing you around. He's invincible. Can't kill him, but, you know, you can watch. He doesn't necessarily just follow you. He'll go off in other directions and stuff. You can avoid the Co-Devil. But, okay, I've rambled on long enough. I've sweated long enough outside here in this stanky-ass hot garage, so let's get inside. And let's do some gameplay. Now, one other thing that I forgot to mention that sets this apart from other maze games is that Devil World is also a co-op 2-player game if you want. I don't remember his name. Look it up on Wikipedia. You are the little green dragon. If you play 2-player, the second player is the same dragon, only red. Pretty sure same name and everything. So, like I said, you put it in your NES adapter, Famicom to NES adapter, My Arcade. This is my NES with the blinking light win. Same one I got when I was 13 years old, Christmas of 1986. It's worked great ever since. You put the game in, and you don't push down. Turn it on, and there it is. It's playing. And right now I'm having a bit of a trouble with the actual wire. You can see I'm fumbling around here like a jackass. I need to get a new cable from my NES to my television set, my CRT in the basement here, because the picture is messing up. But that's the game on the CRT, working fine. When I play these, just for the hell of it, I like to use my Famicom 8-bit DOE controller, Nintendo 8-bit DOE. I've had this for a little while, and it works great. I haven't noticed any lag with it. I actually have 8-bit DOE controllers for my Sega Genesis and my Super Nintendo as well. I love the things. They work great. But there it is. It's the Famicom version. Only, you know, a few extra buttons they threw in there, because you can use this also on your Super Nintendo or your PC. But this is Devil World. I'm going to play it actually on my modded Wii for video purposes, because my basement here, as you can see, we have the block windows. I don't have anything to cover them. I'm getting a huge reflection from these damn things. I need to put some shades over them or something at some point. So I'm going to actually go to my 4K TV upstairs and play it on my Wii so that you can see it a little bit better. But this is a very you usually mostly use the control pad. You do use the fire button to shoot the guys. I can't do that right now on this because I'm filming without my tripod. I ate an ice cream cone. I got killed, so that's great. But there's the devil. There's me. I hatched. His name's something strange. Toma something other is my name. And like I said, I'm not able to fire right now because... There, I used my nose to fire. How about that shit? I'm filming handheld ones, but the devil has the little guys down at the bottom. Moving the barrier. Ah! I'm gonna die. There's the little guys there. They move the little barrier. See them? They got little one-eyed monsters. Get it? You want to get the cross to eat the dots. So, okay. We're going to move to the upstairs. I know we're going to emulate. Maybe that's not ideal. But for this situation with all the reflections and everything, it'll probably look a little bit nicer in my finished video. See? I got squished because these little bastards moved because this guy told them to. But that's it on the NES. Let's go upstairs and play it for realsies. And then I'll have my son join in. So there you go. That was Devil World on the for the Famicom on my NES. Sorry about the whole two-player fiasco. As you see, I did start it for two-player. That's what the little red ball was the second player, the second dragon. But my son was busy as well. He didn't end up making it in time for the video, and I had other things to do. As you can see, I'm in the car now, heading for other things. So I've been really busy. Like I said before, the union that I belong to is on strike from the mill that I work for, and I'm working someplace else right now in the meantime, so I'm working in quite a bit different schedules every day. It's really messed up. So I'm sorry about not getting more videos out to you more often, but I will try. I see that through the time that I've been away, I think, like I said, 3 weeks since the last video, I have more subscribers. So that's surprising and exciting, and I really appreciate people watching my videos. You know, you can like, you can dislike, whatever it is. Leave comments below. Tell me what you would like to see. I do have a bunch of games. I have a bunch of emulators. I have a bunch of consoles. I can cover a lot of stuff. So it all depends on what you want. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see in the future, and I'll try to cover it. Until next time, like I said, maybe next time I can get my son to play some two-player on there, and we can get it filmed for you guys, put it on there. Now I have my daughter calling me. Everybody wants a piece of me. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Yeah. Bye-bye.